What's going on, guys? We'll wait for a few more people to hop on. Let me know who's tuning in. Hey guys, before we get started, tell me how we all doing today. How we doing? Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, cool. I want to talk to you guys. It's been a little bit since I've been on. We did an assignment with that Ed Milet video. First off, I love Ed Milet. And I just want to tell you guys, if you are feeling drained, which is actually part of what we're talking about today, sometimes just putting on a podcast and literally just listening to people that have the life that you want, that have a good mindset, really can re-energize yourself. Okay, guys, drop a 1 in the chat if you have ever had a day, a week, or it could be longer, where the most mundane, easiest task that you've done before literally just felt hard. Like getting out of bed is too much. Emptying the dishwasher makes you want to floppy fish off the building. Calling somebody or texting somebody just feels like razor blades on your fingers. Drop 1 in the chat. What we're gonna be talking about is mental load. I know I told this to Michelle before, but mental load is definitely something that I feel like a lot of people don't take into account when they are trying to achieve big things. Something I really want to preface is I know a lot of people starting their trading journey are doing it for a reason. They're doing it to take care of their kids. They're doing it to take care of their wife, their husband. They're doing it to, better their own life, maybe retire their parents. Maybe they grew up in a life of poverty. Maybe you are a teacher and you want to be able to impact the next generation. Like everyone has some type of why that they're doing it. A lot of the time, it's very sad. I see people make their why be their why not, why they don't achieve the things that they want. And it's very, very sad to have that happen. That could either build resentment. Time goes by. I really want to put a pin on that resentment because I was actually listening to a podcast. It was just a bunch of different like ideologies and people talking about stories. This one girl was like, I think she just turned 60 and she's like, I hold resentment towards my husband and my children. She's like, I love them, but I resent them. And I'm like, oh shit, like that's intense. And she was just going on about how she felt like she never achieved what she wanted to. She wanted to be a journalist. She wanted to travel the world, wanted to do these things, and she kept putting it on hold. With trading, it's not easy. I say this all the time that it's simple, not easy. It's a simple system, but it takes effort. It's just like the gym. The hard part of the gym is the mindset. It's the application, of course, but once you get the application down, it's the mindset. It's the body dysmorphia that you're going to have. It's the constant like having to be disciplined with nutrition. It's the constant feeling like you're not good enough. The exact same way with trading. One less thing I want you to deal with is mental load. I've had days like the last 2 weeks, I've put my YouTubes on hold. I have put, a lot of the non-negotiables that I do for my trading and my trading business on hold because I was doing, the special surprise that we got coming out. The affiliates know what's going on, but we're launching something big to make trading more accessible to people, just to be louder and to give you more education here in Champions Academy. Like we are really hustling and bustling. And there was one day here where like, first off, I got out of bed late and then if you already know, if you're a high achiever, that's already a bad start. Everything felt like I had weights on my legs. I messaged 300 people yesterday and I was doing this and did like 7 videos and I was editing for 4 hours. How today is simple steaming carrots just so hard. Like it's just so much. And I felt really bad because y'all know I'm a person who likes to message right away. If someone messaged me, I like to answer, and I was leaving people unanswered for like a day or two. What I realized is I'm going to take this opportunity to analyze how I'm feeling and analyze this in a broader perspective. Feeling like shit for not getting back to people is not going to help get out of the funk. It's not going to help at all. And I really did some research. Obviously, all the jokes on TikTok where they're like, I chat GPT is like my main bro. I have my own AIs that I have, and I got into a deep talk with them about the problem and we figured out it was mental load. I've heard about this before. Even making decisions is so tiring. I forget who asked me something. I think it was Michelle. She asked me something that day and I was just like, I have no idea. My brain, my cogs aren't cogging. I don't know. I want you to understand this happens on every level. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the game. At the end of the day, we're all people trying to learn a skill. We're all people just trying to achieve our goals. Mental load is the invisible cognitive and emotional work of managing, organizing, and remembering tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities in life. So I'm gonna read some of these comments here. Today, my catch-up day, so slowly feeling better. Having a catch-up day is definitely needed. That's good. I always hate when I load stuff on my plate and try to get everything done. After it's all done, I can relax And then when everything is done, there's just more stuff to do. It never ends. I'm so glad you said that. I was actually talking about that with Christian. I was like, hey, I think the reason that this is something that I deal with. I think the reason why I'm never satisfied after I hit a monumentous goal or a massive goal is because I'm already planning my next goal when I'm like 75% done the first goal. There's no time to really like, oh, wow, I accomplished this. I'm always feeling like I'm not enough. I'm behind. That mindset is not going to help us. It's never going to help you with trading either, because I have a huge thing where I'm going to go into like how that affects your decision making with trading and how people end up quitting. It's the exact same. You get into this loop of, well, I want to relax. So then you try to relax, but you can't really relax because you have all these things going off in your head. So you're just lying there staring at the roof, and then you wasted time. So then you feel like shit that you wasted time. And then you go to do the work, but then the work is half-assed. I see so many people get burnt out. They're doing tasks that should take 2 hours and they're making it take 8 hours. And that won't help anybody. It just doesn't work. This is why I said in the beginning of this call that I just want to give it back to you guys. I understand. It's not like you have nothing on your plate. It's not like you have all your bills covered and no dependents and no one in your corner that needs your help, that you're just like, hey, I'm just going to sit down and learn this thing. Obviously, it'd be a lot easier. And I know, like, being in the entrepreneurship space and being in the trading space and being in all this other stuff, that we can say like, hey, just be better, work harder. I had a conversation, I think it was on one of these calls, where I said, if the hardest worker made the most money, then the donkey would own the farm. I want you guys to remember that it's not necessarily hard work, but effective work. I can't be effective if my brain is full of so much. I had a conversation with Daniel last night about association. I'm a person who likes having an office space and a separate living space. When I had an office, when I came to Toronto, I would like do whatever outside. And the moment I went into the office, it was like my brain switched on and I was like, hey, I'm in work mode. I'm gonna grind this shit out. And I could grind for hours. The moment I left, it was like my brain shut off. But I just want to preface by saying I understand your students, your wives, your husbands. You have 9-to-5 jobs, multiple jobs. Some of you have children. When we go through this training, I just want to let you guys know I understand. We're going to talk about what happens when mental load gets too heavy. We're just going to break it down. Cognitive overload, decision fatigue. You make poor decisions at the end of the day, forgetting important details. That's not good with trading. Analysis paralysis. This is what triggers me the most. 3 hours go by and I'm like, what just happened? I don't know which one hits you guys the most, but none of those are good when it comes to trading. So if you are somebody who's on the charts, and I know we talk a lot about over trading, but these are things that hit a lot of people. It's been 2 weeks. Why aren't you placing trades? And they're like, well, I just freeze, or forget how to analyze and do top-down analysis, or I'm just so tired at the end of the day because I worked my 12-hour shift and then I had to feed the kids and then I had to help the wife and everything else. And then I have this time, but now my brain is dead. There's also, the next thing is emotional exhaustion. So irritability with family when trades go wrong. This is not good, especially if you're doing this for your family. You don't want to be mean to your loved ones. Guilt about time spent on trading versus other responsibilities. People go really hard with trading for a bit, and next thing you know, they go ghost, and I don't hear from them. And I check in with them, and they're like, hey, this happened. I was gone for 3 weeks. I'm so sorry, but this came up and this came up, and I really wanted to get back to them. But then they're in square one with their trading, because y'all know if you are not applying at least a little bit every day, it's not going to stick. Trading performance. So revenge trading after a stressful day. I've seen this before where I've had students come up to me. I think they're trading perfectly fine, and then I find out they blew their account because they had a really bad trade where they maybe, I don't know, it was decision fatigue. And they didn't use their analysis correctly. They ended up blowing a trade, and then instead of just getting off the charts and going like, okay, today's not my day, because they feel like they don't have enough time, they full port their account and lose all their money. So that's definitely not good. Missing setups because you're mentally elsewhere. I feel that I've done that before, where I've completely checked out. Inconsistent routine leading to inconsistent results. That's what happens. I apply that with everything too, by the way. When people tell me, they're like, hey, Megan, I'm still not at the result that I want to be at. I'm like, great. Consistently, what have you been doing? And if they're like, well, I don't know, and they can't tell me, well, that's why you're getting inconsistent results, is because you're not doing consistent behaviors. It's the same with trading. How's your trading going? I'm still at negative $200 in my account. And it's like, okay, what have you done since? They're like, trading's hard. Cool. Who have you talked to? What education have you done? What back testing have you done? And if it's not consistent, that's what's leading to that. And then relationship strain. Like I said, we're all humans. I want you to not only be good traders, I want you guys to be the best partner you can be, the best parent you can be, the best you can be. Because I realize every day that I love trading because I'm able to grow these relationships. Me and Christian were talking about how our first cat, Valentino, was so different than we first got him versus now. They say that cats, when they show their bellies and they're like sleeping like this, they're in their most calm state. And we were just admiring that. And then it's like, well, it's because we're home all the time and he really trusts us. It's crazy because I got used to seeing Christian all the time that I can't imagine not seeing him. When I'm away from him for 2 hours, I get sort of sad and I wonder what he's doing. And to have these relationships where it's just good, we get to be stay-at-home parents. I want you to have the best relationships possible. What mental load can do is your partner feels neglected because you're not really all there when you do spend the time with them. Friends don't understand your new obsession. And I did put that on there because I get it. I'm the type of person that like I don't really have a huge friend circle. I had a conversation with my best friend before I came to Toronto. And we were like, hey, we're like the same person, except when it comes to our business goals. We sort of have like an understanding heart to heart where we're like, this is where our friendship is going to have to end. And I still love you, still care for you, still want to see you eat, love to check in, but I don't want to hold her back and she didn't want to hold me back. That's sort of where I'm coming from. Do whatever works for you at the end of the day. But I realize, like I said, I'm really grateful for the relationships I have now. To generalize what is mental load. Because I know I give you a definition, but I want you guys to sort of pair it into your life. I want you guys to actually do a little exercise. What this is called the mental load audit. It takes about 15 minutes. Write down everything that you're mentally managing. Be as specific as you can. I wrote down categories like pairs that you're watching, non-negotiables that you want to stick with, trading goals and deadlines, education to complete. I wrote down life mental loads. So work responsibilities, family relationship tasks, household management, financial obligations, health and self-care, social commitments. A lot of people commit to so many things when they're doing other stuff. Oh, I'm going to call out Michelle again because we had this conversation about the power of saying no. The reason why I don't say sorry all the time. Do not say sorry unless you mean it. Sorry means I apologize and I won't do this specific thing again because it wasn't right. A lot of people, let's say they did something, they're like, oh, sorry, and that that person over apologizes. Don't do that because you're not sorry. It just happened. So only say sorry if you mean it. When I say I'm sorry, I mean it. It's the same with no and committing to obligations. People commit to weddings, outings, birthday parties, and commit to their cousin, sister's, boyfriend's party and all this other stuff because they feel they have to. In my life, when I say yes, I want to do something, they know I actually want to do it because I'm cool with saying, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Wish you all the best. I want you to understand you're not mean for saying no. You're protecting your energy and just saying, I'm not going to do this right now. Like, I'm going to go focus on this. I still love and care for you. I used to be the yes man. Everything. People ask me for, like, guys, people would ask me, in my friend group, I was the first one to drive. People would ask me for rides that were an hour and a half away. This one girl asked multiple times and finally I said yes. Didn't ask for gas money. Drove her an hour and a half. Made me sit outside while she went to this guy's house. You already know what's going on. Told me she'd be an hour. Like 6 or 7 hours later, middle of the night, she comes out and that, like, guys, I was that pushover. Becoming the person that was like, I don't have the mental capacity for this right now has been my favorite line. People think I'm rude, but I'll tell, like, Christian knows. If people are like, hey, Megan, can you cook dinner? And I'm like, no, I can't. Don't have it in me. I'm so glad he's so supportive because he will be like, okay, cool. I got it tonight. What do you have capable? And I'm like, I just need to recharge. Sometimes that could be taking a step away from the charts, reading a book, giving him a hug, playing with my cats. It doesn't matter. It's so important to just, I could do a whole training on the art of saying no. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. If I say, I want to see you, yeah, like everything I say, I mean it. I want you to know that. Let's go back to the assignment really quick. After you guys write down all of your stuff that you're mentally managing, this could be anything, okay? I want you guys to do the time overlap zone. This is where burnout happens, by the way. If you have a job in the mornings, you know you can't trade New York, right? So that competes. That's why you can't trade New York. You would trade Asia or whatever. I'm making this trading specific because I want you guys to obviously excel in trading. And I feel like a lot of people, the whole point of this training is a lot of people give up trading because they're like, it's too hard. It doesn't fit in my life. I have other stuff that's going on, when really that might have been a rash decision. There's only been one time out of the hundreds of people that I've worked with where I'm like, yo, their life actually doesn't allow them to trade. Everyone else, I'm sorry, I feel like it's just a lack of organization. I get you guys are parents, partners, everything is true, but I believe there's a way to manage this. And this is what I want to show you guys. Right times when you're trading and your life compete, whether that's education or trading sessions or whatever. Then also decisions you're making daily. For example, a decision is like, when do I have to go to the gym? If you have a work decision that you're in charge of that you have to make daily, these are things you need to know because that's going to have where your mental load is going to be. And then things you're trying to remember. This is really big for me in my household. When you feel like you're the person that needs to remember everything in the household, I picture my brain. I picture like a filing cabinet. Once this box is full, it's full. I have to take something out to put another thing in. If I don't, then this is where things are come out incorrect. I start forgetting bits and pieces of stuff. And when you're trying to trade, it's very important because y'all know if you don't have a system, if you don't follow the strategy, you're just gambling at this point. It's not working. So it's very important to fix burnout before it happens. Okay. So that's the assignment. I want you guys to write it down and actually audit because maybe one of two things will happen. One, you're going to look at this list and you're going to be like, I have a shit ton of things I need to remember. This is scary. This is why I'm feeling burnt out. This is why I don't want to get out of bed. This is why I'm depressed. This is it. This is why I feel like I'm not going to succeed. Or you're going to look at it and go, I actually have a lot of space. Maybe I'm just not organized. Maybe I'm just not doing some of these things I'm about to list to fix this. These are things I've done. These are some things that I've looked up. But there's also I'm going to call it the strategies for managing mental load. That's what I'm going to call it. Strategies for managing mental load. Number 1, the brain dump system. Get everything out of your head and on a piece of paper. Journaling has changed my life. It helps. Get everything out on a piece of paper. Do a weekly brain dump where anything that has been on your mind that you've been thinking about all week, you write that shit down. Could be about your boyfriend, trading, could be about your house cleaning, could be about, there's a steamer that I want to buy on Amazon. Like whatever it is, just write it down and get everything out. Categorize it after. Okay, this is trading, this is family, this is stuff I want to buy, this is random stuff, like categorize it. And then schedule and plan effectively. This is like the ultimate to-do list, but without feeling like a to-do list. Now that it's all in front of me, I don't need the steamer right now, so I'm gonna put it over here in this file, and I'm gonna look at this later. Oh, but I keep thinking about the fact I need to do these videos for the team. I'm gonna put this here, and I can do this tomorrow. Oh wow, then I can get that off my head. Because nothing feels better. Sometimes that reset is all you need. So that's number 1, weekly brain dump, big changes the game. Then there's trading application, plan your trading week. Because you guys are on the team, you have like a really set structure of when we trade, when we send out signals, the education, the calls. So you guys are really good. But like, for example, plan your trading week ahead, what pairs you're going to look at, new pairs, are you going to trade new sessions daily. So 5-minute routine. This is something you guys can do. So before you sit down at the charts, maybe you're religious, do a little prayer before you go onto the charts. Maybe you are superstitious. I don't really know. Whatever makes you feel good. Maybe it's just looking at the news and having a cup of coffee. This is really important. You need to close your mental loop. You need an outro. Everyone talks about an intro like, oh, I'm going to have this routine that will get me going. First, I'm going to go to the gym. Then I'm going to have a shower. Then I'm going to wash my hair twice. And then I'm going to go have a cup of coffee. I'm going to sit down on the charts. And that's how I know I'm ready for the day. But you need an outro. Close the mental loop. So whether this be journaling your trades or plan for tomorrow, this is something that makes me feel so good every time when I do my planning for the next day. I always feel good because it's just done. I know the moment I open my eyes what I'm going to do because I did a brain dump and now I know tomorrow's filming. I know I'm going to get up, do my makeup, do all the filming, shoot some TikToks because I'm already in makeup. It feels good because the boundary system creates a clear separation between trading and life. You need that. So physical boundaries, having a space where you're like, this is when I sit here, I'm trading. But when I sit here from this time to this time, I am trading, doing nothing else. Then there's time boundaries. This time is for trading. This time is for family. If you're at work, this time is work time. Something I really want to say though is make sure you're present. Mental boundaries. When you are not all there and you need a reset, take it. I'm giving you permission. Digital boundaries. Turn off trading notifications, turn off notifications when you decide to have your time to close the loop. And then your support system, use the trading community. We have a really good community. I've been in a lot of them, to be honest, and I've checked out quite a few different ones. Yeah, we talk about trading, but it's a good place to ask your questions there and not feel so alone. And that's very important when you're learning a new skill. Automate what you can and batch similar stuff. This has changed my life. If I have to edit for 4 hours, I might walk that entire time on my walking pad. So I got my steps in while editing. There's a certain video that I have to make. I'm gonna be very transparent with you guys. I need to do my YouTube, but I didn't have time to do it today. So I'm doing my YouTube right now while recording this. So like there's little things I try to batch together They did a study saying that in the morning, and I believe this was just for guys, in the morning is usually your peak hours when your mental battery is like, whoop, like it's good, it's full. And they say at around, I think it was 1 p.m. I don't know if it was 1 p.m. or 3 p.m., but they say around the afternoon is when not to make big decisions, not to do things that take a lot of mental load, a lot of mental energy, because you're out by then. So keep that in mind. Find what works for you. Some people are like, oh, I'm more energized at night. And if that works for you, that's great. But maybe plan your routine with your mental energy. Rest time means actually rest. This doesn't mean if you have an assignment for school or if your kids need you not to do it, but make it very clear that if you are going to bed at 9, go to bed at 9. I've seen it too many times where people lack sleep and it ends up messing up their trading and other parts of their life. And I'll be closing with this. Trading success isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right thing with the time and energy you have. It's focused energy. And that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. The biggest thing, and I think I mentioned this, but I just want to mention it again. But the biggest excuse I see when people give up trading is they blame everything else that's going on in their life. But a lot of the times when I actually talk to people, I find out there's things that could have been delegated. There's things that didn't need to be in their noggin, but it was only there because they didn't get it out. Things were simple to fix, but because they were unorganized, it caused so much overload that they couldn't trade properly and do the education. I hear it all the time, and I don't know if you guys deal with this, but it's simple like, Megan, I don't know what it is. I know I have a path to education, but I just can't get myself to do A, B, and C. Maybe I'm not meant for this, when that's not it at all, guys. Because if that were true, there were days getting out of bed was the biggest hassle. That doesn't mean I shouldn't get out of bed. If anything, it means I should have got out of bed more. Thank you for coming on. I always love having these conversations with you. You guys mean the world to me. Just know that mental load sucks, but we all go through it and we can fix it. With much love, I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.